In this video, we will focus on tips, tricks, and techniques on how to succeed in the assessment test. I'll share with you most common assessment test questions. I'll have questions for you to try. I'll share with you tips, tricks, and techniques on how to pass the test. And I'll share with you additional test resources to get you ready. If you watch the entire video from the beginning to end, you will have everything you need to succeed on the test.
Hi there, this is Vadim Michalenko, and in this video I'll share with you how to pass an employment assessment test. In this video, I will share with you sample questions we see on the tests. I will have some questions for you to try, and I'll show you tips, tricks, and hacks on how to get ready and pass the test. I will also share with you some additional test resources that might benefit you and might help you to get ready for the test quickly.
In this video, we will focus on the most common questions used as part of employment assessment tests. We'll have sample questions from aptitude tests, psychometrics, numerical reasoning, logical reasoning, math reasoning, charts and graphs, abstract reasoning, and a lot of other tests.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Vadim Michalenko, and I have MBA and master's degree in computer science. I have been helping people for more than 25 years to get hired and find jobs. I have founded HowToAnalyzeData.net website with only intent to help people get employment. This site helped a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure it will help you as well.
And now, let's go ahead and jump right to the questions. Let's look at the assessment test question you might get as part of the aptitude test when you're applying for managerial positions or position with financial institutions. Below table shows exchange rates in British pounds. How many more Hong Kong dollars could you buy with 1,000 British pounds in 2019 compared to 2020? And there are four choices: 170, 180, 150, and 160. What do you think is the correct answer here? Let's take a look. To answer these types of questions, you need to understand the data that's being provided. In this data, the source and the base currency is British pounds, so the conversion rates here are for British pounds. Hong Kong dollars, you could buy with 1 British pounds, you can buy 10.11 in 2019, and you can buy 9.95 in 2020. The first step to solve this type of problems is that we need to understand the difference between the value of Hong Kong dollars in 2019 and 2020. And for that, we need to subtract 9.95 from 10.11. After we subtract, we get the value of 0.16, which represents the difference between the Hong Kong dollar conversion rates for 2019 and 2020. But the question asks us to calculate the difference for 1,000 pounds. So the next step, we need to multiply this value by 1,000. And once we're done with multiplication, we'll get to a value of 160 Hong Kong dollars. So the answer is, you can buy 160 more Hong Kong dollars in 2019 than you could buy them in 2020. Let's look at the alternative way to do it. You can calculate the total cost of buying Hong Kong dollars in 2019 by multiplying 1,000 by 1011, and then calculate the same value for 2020 when you multiply 1,000 by 9.95. And then you calculate the difference, which would be an equivalent of 160 Hong Kong dollars. Hopefully you've got this one right.
In addition to showing you questions and answers from the real test, I also have questions for you to answer.
Most of the videos on this channel have practice questions for you to answer. Please make sure to post your answers in the comment section of the video. This will allow me to validate your answer and give you the grade. Now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Let's look at the question, which is very frequently used as part of various aptitude tests. You could see it as part of math reasoning, abstract reasoning, numerical reasoning, and a lot of other tests. If the family spends a total of $60,000 in 2020, approximately how much of this was spent on food? You have a pie chart that you can see with the percentages of spending, and you have different spending categories. And there are four choices as usual: $7,800, $9,000, $10,200, or $12,600. Which one do you think is the right choice? To answer this question, you have to analyze the pie chart and pie chart represents food as the gray color. And gray color has a 13% of the entire circle, which means that 30% out of $60,000 was spent on food in 2020. To calculate the actual amount, you need to multiply 0.13 by $60,000. And the answer is $7,800 was spent on food in 2020. Let's recap. The pie chart gives you the percentage of family's budget that was spent in 6 different categories. Notice that food takes 13% of the budget. Therefore, if you multiply 0.13 by 60,000, you will get $7,800. And that is choice A. Hopefully you've got this one right. And now it's your turn. Please make sure to post your answer in the comment section below this video so I can give you the grade. Here is the question for you to answer. You need to find the last number using the pattern. 2, 6, 12, 20, 30, 42, and then the missing number. And the choices are 60, 64, 52, or 56. Which one do you think is the right answer here? Please make sure to post your answer in the comment section below this video so I can give you the grade. Now let's look at the tricky question, which is frequently used as part of math reasoning and abstract reasoning tests. There are 28 women and 21 men attending online webinar. What is the ratio of women to the total number of people? And there are 4 choices: 4:7, 4:3, 5:7, and 28:21. Which one do you think is the right answer? The tricky part about this question is that there are choices B and D, which represent the ratio of women to men. But this is not what needs to be calculated here, because ratio of women to total number of people need to be captured. Let's look at the correct answer. Total ratio of women to men is 4:3, but the ratio of women to total number of people is 4:7, which represented by 28:49, and 49 is calculated as the sum of all people, 28 women and 21 men. So the correct answer is A, 4:7. I'm pretty sure you nailed this question.
A lot of students ask me, how can I learn quickly? Let's look at all different options based on recent scientific research.
One of the most effective ways to learn we recommend to our students is a mixed mode learning. You use a variety of different resources during mixed mode learning and alternate between them to ensure better comprehension of the material. For example, if you're trying to get ready for Excel assessment test, you can start by watching YouTube videos, then practice the steps in Microsoft Excel, read related topics in the ebook, and then experiment with a variety of questions during practice test. Let's look at assessment test question, which is frequently used as part of abstract reasoning, numerical reasoning, and logical reasoning tests. Emily buys a car for $9,000 and sells it for $12,000. Calculate approximate profit Emily has made in this transaction. 54% is the choice A, 40% choice B, choice C is 30%, and choice D is 44%. Which one do you think is the right answer here? First, to answer the question here, you need to calculate the actual profit. And the profit is $12,000 minus $9,000, which is equal to $3,000. Then you need to calculate the profit percentage, which is calculated by $3,000 divided by $9,000, because $9,000 is the original price. And the value here that you will get would be 30%. So choice C is correct. Let's recap. Original price for the vehicle was $9,000. Sale price was $12,000. Profit is $3,000 and is calculated as $12,000 minus $9,000. The profit is calculated as $3,000 divided by $9,000 and multiplied by 100, and is equivalent of 30%. So choice C is correct. Did you get this one right? Please share in the description of this video if you got this one correctly.
People contact me and ask what's changed during COVID-19. Let's look at the changes in employment assessment test process that have happened recently.
One of the biggest changes is the fact that a lot of people work remotely, which means a lot of hiring also happening remotely. Provider might ask you to install special software to monitor your desktop activities. They might also ask you to enable your camera to see what you're doing during the test. Another big shift we see is that the questions become more relevant to the position. For example, if you're applying for accountant or bookkeeper job, Make sure you know how to import the data, do profit and loss reports, calculate the expenses, and calculate the annual statements. These are the types of questions that you might see for that specific position. Researching the company and researching the test provider always works for our students. Once you know who the provider is, you can try to go to their website to see the sample questions to get an idea what kind of questions you're going to get on the test. It is always a good idea to refresh your hands-on skills and practice before the test. This gives you necessary boost of confidence and allows to pass the test with the higher grade. If you didn't pass the test, make sure to reflect after it. Take notes and develop an action plan to see what the next steps might be to get you the job. Let's look at the question, which is frequently used to test your knowledge of charts and graphs, and frequently used as part of math reasoning, logical reasoning, and also numerical reasoning tests. How much is spent on transportation if the total budget is $70,000? You have four choices as usual: $10,000, $11,200, $11,500, and $13,500. You also presented with the graph on which transportation is 16% of the entire budget. Which one do you think is the right choice here? To calculate the transportation budget, you need to get 16% off of $70,000. Ultimately, you need to multiply 70,000 by 0.16. So let's look at the answer. Because percentage of transportation is 16%, the correct answer is $11,200, which is calculated as 16 divided by 100, which gets you 0.16, multiplied by $70,000. So the correct choice is $11,200, which is choice B. Hopefully you've got this one right.
One of the best ways to learn is try to test your knowledge periodically. I encourage you to participate in our daily question challenge.
Every day we post a new question in the community section of the channel. You have an opportunity to test your knowledge and validate your skills on the different topics. This is one additional reason to subscribe to the channel, because this way all the questions will be delivered to you automatically. So here's the question, which is frequently used as part of numerical reasoning and logical reasoning tests. Find the next number of the below sequence. And you have series of numbers, 30, 29, 27, 24, 20, 15, and you have a choices, four different choices, 10, 9, 11, and 8. Which one do you think is right? And how would you even approach answering something like this? The key to answer something like this, in these types of questions in general, is to detect the pattern. So you see the pattern here is you increase the number every time you go from one number to the next. 30 is 1 more than 29, and 27 is 2 more than 29. 24 is 3 more than 27, 20 is 4 more than 24, and 15 is 5 more than 20. So the next difference would be 6, and 15 minus 6 would be 9. Let's recap. So next number in the sequence is less than the current number. 29 is less than 30, 27 is 2 less than 29, and 24 is 3 less than 27. And you can continue the sequence once you detect it. And final number must be 6 less than 15, which is 9. So the correct answer is B, which is 9. Hopefully you've got this one right. And now it's your turn. Please make sure to post your answer in the comment section below this video so I can give you the grade. Here's the question for you to answer. Below chart shows the number of companies that provide services to different sectors of the economy. What is the percentage of the companies that provide their services to both agriculture and chemical sectors? And you have four choices here: 40%, 22%, 30%, and 25%. Please make sure to post your answer in the comment section below this video so I can give you the grade. Now let's look at the question. Find the missing value using the pattern. You see the 3 by 3 box, and one of the values in this box is missing. So what is the pattern? And there are four choices. We have A, B, C, and D, right? And obviously you would have to find the pattern and calculate the value. So what do you guys think is the right answer here? Before I reveal the right answer, let me try to discuss with you the pattern. So you see 1, 2, and 3, right? But then this one, 2, 4, and 6. So it's not sequential, so it's not like you go 1 plus 1 equals 2 plus 1 equals 3. There is a different type of pattern here. And the right pattern here is that 1 plus 2 equals 3, right? And then 2 plus 4 equals 6. And once you know the pattern, you can easily calculate that 3 plus 6 equals 9. So the right answer here is choice C. Let's validate. And you're absolutely right. The right choice is choice C, and this is exactly the logic that I just presented to you. Hopefully you've got this one right.
Let me give you a couple reasons why you might consider subscribing to online training for everyone.
Knowing latest assessment test questions and answers helps you to get ready for the interview and assessment test and improves your job mobility. We share with you latest questions asked during the interview. You get access to the daily challenge question. You see questions and answers people posting in the comment section of this video, and you get access to other people's experiences. You also have opportunity to help other people by answering their questions. We have a community of great people already subscribed to this channel, and these people are here ready to help you with the challenges you are experiencing. Subscribing to online training for everyone is an exciting opportunity to get ahead in your career. Thank you for your time and consideration, and looking forward to have you as a member in this channel. Now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Now let's look at another pattern type question. Which number should come next in the pattern? And then you have pattern of numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. So let's first determine what's the pattern here. Obviously there are 4 choices, but the result here is calculated based on the pattern that we would need to determine. Which one do you guys think is the right one here? Well, let's look. So we have 1, 1, and then 1 plus 1 equals 2, then 1 plus 2 equals 3, then we have 2 plus 3 equals 5, and then you can kind of keep going. So to calculate the next number, it's basically the sum of the previous 2 numbers. So 8 plus 13 is 21. So the right choice here is choice B, which is 21. And this is the explanation that the pattern here is really the sum of previous 2 numbers. Hopefully you've got this one right. Let's look at the question, which is frequently used when you're applying for the jobs with financial companies. Insurance company offers money if the vehicle is stolen, but the percentage of reimbursement is different based on a table. How much will customer get for the vehicle with fair market value of $2,000 in year 1, but was stolen in the 3rd year after insuring? You have a table, and it shows that percentage deduction in 1st year there is no deduction. After 1 year, there is a 10% deduction. After 2 years, 25%. And after 3 years, 40%. And you have 4 choices: $500, $1,000, $1,500, and $2,000. Which one do you think is right choice here? Let's look at how you would approach answering this question. After 2 years, you would have to deduct 25% of the original cost of the vehicle. 25% of $2,000 is $500. So 2,000 minus 500 that you would have to deduct would be 1,500 reimbursement that you can get from insurance company. Let's recap. The vehicle is stolen in the 3rd year after 2 years. Insurance company will deduct 25% of initial value, and 25% of initial value is $500. Company will deduct $500 and offer you $1,500. So the correct choice is answer C. Hopefully you've got this one right. But in case you need to practice more with similar questions, make sure to download my ebook with more practice questions using link in the description of this video. And now it's your turn. Please make sure to post your answer in the comment section below this video so I can give you the grade. Here's the question for you to answer. Find the missing value using the pattern. And you have pattern of numbers 1, 2, 2, 4, 8, value that's missing, and then 256. You need to choose one from the list. And the choices are 20, 32, 64, and 144. What do you think is the right answer here? Please make sure to post your answer in the comment section below this video so I can give you the grade. Now let's look at the question which tests your knowledge of percentages and logical reasoning, and frequently used as part of math reasoning, abstract reasoning, numerical reasoning, and logical reasoning tests. If total budget for the state of Indiana is $31.4 billion, how much is planned to be spent on agriculture? And you have 4 choices: 12.24 billion, 7.3 billion, 6.32 billion, and 9.42 billion. And you have a chart which shows different percentages for different types of expenditures. Which one do you think is the right choice here? To get to the answer for this question, you need to understand what is the percentage of spend for agriculture. And based on the graph, the planned spend for agriculture is 30%. To calculate the budget for agriculture in actual US dollars, you need to multiply 31.4 by 0.3, which represents 30%. Whatever's correct answer based on this calculation would be the choice that you should select for this type of questions. Let's look and recap this question. Agriculture expenditures is 30% of the budget. To calculate total value for agriculture expenditures, you need to multiply 31.4 by 0.3, which is equivalent of $9.42 billion. So the correct choice here is answer D, which is $9.42 billion. I'm pretty sure you nailed this question, but in case you need more questions like this to practice, make sure to download my ebook with practice questions using the link in the description of this video.
There are different types of assessment tests that you might see as part of the hiring process. Let's take a look at the most common options that you might encounter.
Most common tests that you see as part of the hiring process are aptitude test, psychometric test, numerical reasoning test, logical reasoning test, math reasoning tests, charts and graphs reasoning test, abstract reasoning test, and a lot of others. Sometimes, companies also would like to test your technical knowledge based on the job that you're applying for. You might encounter Microsoft Excel test, Microsoft Word test, Outlook, PowerPoint, and a lot of other different tests that might be required for you to succeed on your job. Let's look at the question which tests your knowledge of charts and graphs, logical reasoning, and math reasoning. During which period did the revenue for the company decline? And you have 4 periods: 2010 to 2012, 2011 to 2012, 2013 to 2014, and 2016 to 2018. And then you have a chart which represents revenues and costs. Which one do you think is the right answer here? Let's start by looking at the chart. Chart has 2 lines. One line is dark blue and another line is light blue. Dark blue line represents revenue and light blue line represents the cost. For the revenue, it almost always goes up, with the exception of the period between 2013 to 2014, which is represented right here on the graph. Let's recap. Company's profit is represented on the graph. During 2013 and 2014 period, the revenue was decreasing and the costs were going up. So the correct choice here is answer C, which represents the period of 2013 to 2014. Hopefully your selection for this answer was correct, but in case you need to practice more with similar questions, make sure to download my ebook with more practice questions like this using the link in the description of this video.
A lot of people ask me, how can I help? One of the best ways to help others on this channel is to help answer their questions. If you see questions on this channel that you know the answer to, please make sure to post your answer. This way, you will help another person to get hired.
Now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Now let's look at the question which is very frequently used as part of aptitude tests when you're applying for the position in financial industry, especially in the banking and insurance industries. If €1 is worth 1.18 US, what is the exchange rate of converting US dollars to euros? You have 4 choices here: 0.83, 0.79, 0.78, and 0.84. How would you calculate this? Let's see if you can nail this question. To get to the correct answer, we need to reverse the exchange rate. If exchange rate for converting euros to dollars is 1.18, then exchange rate of converting dollars to euros must be 1 divided by 1.18, which is an equivalent of 0.847. So the correct answer here is D. I would imagine that you've answered this question correctly, but in case you need to practice more with similar questions, make sure to download my ebook with more practice questions using a link in the description of this video.
Can I ask you to do me a favor? If you know someone who will benefit from this material and looking for the job, please share this content with them. I really appreciate it. This will help them find the jobs quickly. Thank you very much.
Now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Let's look at the question which tests your knowledge of logical reasoning and how well you can apply this knowledge to charts and graphs. Review the graph in the picture and answer the question. During which period did the revenue of the company declines? There is a picture represented here with two lines, one blue line that shows revenue and then the orange line which shows the cost. The period is from 2013 to 2020, and you have four choices to select from: 2014 to 2015, 2019 to 2020, 2013 to 2014, and 2016 to 2017. Which one do you think is right? To answer this question correctly, you need to differentiate between revenue and the cost. Because revenue is represented by blue line, you have to follow the blue line to answer the question in which period revenue declines. If you follow the line, you see that for all the years, with the exception of period of 2014 to 2015, right here, the line goes up. And only for the period 2014 to 2015, revenue declines. So that is the correct choice and that is the correct answer. Now let's recap. The line graph shows the revenue and costs of a small company between the periods of 2014 and 2020. To estimate the changes, you need to find the spot on the line which goes down. Only place when line goes down is between the years of 2014 and 2015. Therefore, choice A, which shows 2014 to 2015, is the right answer for this question. Hopefully you've got this one right.
If you like the content, please give this video a big thumbs up. This tells us that you need more content like this, and we'll make sure that you get it in the future.
Now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Let's look at the question which is frequently used as part of verbal reasoning, logical reasoning, abstract reasoning, and used as part of various aptitude tests. What will come at the place of question mark? And you're presented with the series Z2, Y4, X8, W16, and then question mark. And you have four choices: V32, S32, V24, and then S24. Which one do you think is right? To answer this question, you need to try to detect the pattern. And there are two patterns here presented in this question. First pattern is the pattern of the alphabet in reverse order. So you have letters Z, Y, X, and W. X, Y, Z, W, X, Y, Z, those are the last letters of the English alphabet. So the letter before Y would be the letter that you need to put as the first character in the question mark. That's the first pattern. Then the second pattern is the pattern of numbers increasing. You have numbers increasing in the power of 2. 2, 4, 8, 16. So the next one here would be 32. So the correct answer here is V32. Let's recap. To answer this question, you need to follow two patterns. One pattern for the letters and second pattern for the numbers. The letters decrease by 1 and the numbers double each time. So the correct answer here is V32. Hopefully you've got this one right.
Can I ask you to do me a favor? If you recently passed the employment assessment test, please share the questions that are being asked during the test. This will help all of us learn and better prepare for the upcoming test.
Now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Let's look at the question which you might get when applying for banking positions, insurance companies positions, or any other position within financial industry. What is the profit in US dollars at the end of week 4 if a buyer buys 100 pounds in week 1 and converts back to US dollars in week 4? You have 4 different choices presented, A, B, C, and D, and then you have a table, conversion rate between pounds and dollars for 4 weeks. In week 1, the conversion rate is 1.29, and in week 4, the conversion rate is 1.3132. Which one do you think is the right answer here? To get to the right answer, you need to calculate the values, the total sum of US dollars in week 1, and then you need to convert it back to US dollars in week 4. Ultimately, week 2 and week 3 values are irrelevant here because you're holding through weeks 2 and week 3. And this is how you do the calculation. In week 1, you need 129 US dollars to buy 100 pounds. And value of 100 pounds in week 4 is $131.32. So the profit will be calculated as the difference between $131.32 and 129.8. and would be equivalent of $1.52. So the correct answer is C here. I hope you've got this one right, but in case you need to practice more, make sure to download my ebook with more practice questions using the link in the description of this video.
Let me give you a tip on how to plan your time during the test.
As you're probably well aware, most of the assessment tests are timed. One thing you can do to increase your chances of passing the test is to calculate how much time would you have per question. For example, if you have 50 questions that you need to complete in 60 minutes, you can do a quick math in your head. By dividing 60 by 50, it will give you the answers that you need about 1.2 minutes per question, which is an equivalent of 72 seconds per question. Having this information handy will tell you how much time you need to allocate per each question. Now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Now let's look at the reasoning question where you need to complete the sentence. Read below sentence and give the correct answer. Book is to reading as fork is to, and then you need to pick one of the four choices: painting, writing, eating, and lifting. So what do you think is the right choice? I think it's pretty obvious here. But let's look at the right answer. So the correct answer is obviously eating, right? Because book is to reading. This is an activity associated with reading. As fork is to eating. You use fork during the meal consumption. So the correct choice is C. And that's because forks are used during dining and meal consumption. Hopefully you've got this one right.
Let me share with you some information that you probably don't know.
Based on our recent research, most assessment test providers deduct points for incorrect answers. So it is not a good idea to guess answers during the test. You can ask the provider to see how they handle incorrect answers. If they deduct points for incorrect answers, you might consider skipping the questions where you do not know the answers to. Now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Now let's look at the question where you tested not just how well you know English, but also how well can you operate with the letters and take guesses based on the questions asked. A lot of times this types of questions used in the verbal reasoning tests and in a lot of other tests as well. For example, psychometric tests or logic reasoning tests. These types of questions we see all the time. So the question, which of the following can be arranged to a 5-letter English word? And there are 4 choices with 5 letters of the words, and you kind of would need to look at each choice and you would need to take a guess which one would be the one which leads to a specific English word. And obviously nobody gives you the English word, so you would have to take a guess on the word and combine these letters so they will be represented by the specific English word. So which one do you think is the right choice? Couple suggestions here. You see choice A has inside of these letters English word goat. So typically it's the wrong choice because typically you wouldn't be able to easily rearrange this word into something else. Typically, and again it's only typically, but you would want to start with the letter somewhere in the middle. And the right choice here is choice B, and it's the word shape. That's really the word, that the end result of it. You don't have a way of knowing, right, because you don't know what the end word is. So you would have to look realistically at all the different choices and see if you can combine them. But I would start with the middle letter because typically they try to trick you, and first letter is typically not the one that starts this new word. So find more exercises like this. This one was tricky. This one was difficult. Very few people guess it right. But it takes practice to get these types of questions correctly. So make sure Google or find on the internet these types of verbal reasoning questions and see if you can get better at this.
Please make sure to check out available downloads in the description section of this video.
All links to the downloads are available in the description of this video. Please make sure to consider ebooks and practice files. And also consider premium resources that helped other people to get prepared faster. Now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test.
Thanks for watching. I encourage you to check out our daily question challenge in the community section of this channel. I also recommend that you check downloads in the description section of this video. Please also check out resources page on our website, howtoanalyzedata.net/resources. If you like the content, please give this video a big thumbs up. This tells us that you need more content like this. I would encourage you to share this video with other people that might be looking for the job. This will help them to get prepared and pass assessment test faster. Please consider subscribing and following this channel. We have a community of great people helping each other to get ready and pass the test. Please leave questions, comments, or suggestions in the comment section of this video. And all the best on your interview and assessment test. Thanks for watching.